to UGC Team. I'm Denise, a UGC content creator and creators agency owner with a passion to create awesome content and creatives for brands and to help you along the way. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notifications so you're reminded every week when I upload a new episode. This week I'm chatting with Kelly from UGC Socials. She has been a creative director and UGC creator for the past 10 years, and she's here to drop some serious knowledge on the brand's perspective, what brands are looking for when they're looking for creators. So you know what to do. Pop in your earbuds, grab a notebook, and let's get started.
Thank you so much for having me on. It's a super pleasure to meet you officially.
Yeah, great.
Just like quick backstory. So I came into the industry a decade ago. I started in organic social, moved my way into direct response digital marketing. I have an extensive agency background. So I wore different hats throughout my career. I was a direct response video editor. So I edited both UGC concepts back in the day, as well as like repurposing pre-existing assets like photos from websites into paid media ads. I have on script writing and copywriting background. I have a production background, so I know, what makes or can help a UGC concept stand out amongst the rest from like just small changes. Like I see you are in front of a window that is giving you beautiful lighting right now. Same here. I'm right in front of really complimentary lighting. So very small that have helped enhance my work along the way. Recently, I have the background of creative strategist and creative director. Currently, I'm a creative director for a top 1% Shopify brand where I lead paid media creative strategy. In layman terms, I help create content that creates conversions, which are sales. I help grow my company as far as sales go, which includes hiring UGC creators. And I'm also a part-time UGC creator who has built their business to 6 figures annually with 3 long-term clients. And I also just want to state that it's definitely not easy to get to this point, but if you create converting concepts that bring company revenue, they will not want to let you go.
Right, exactly. And especially now, I mean, I've been hearing a lot around the recession and oh my God, we're freelancers. What do we do? If you're in marketing, especially in marketing, now is when companies are going to have to ramp up their spending because you're trying to capture, people that are trying to be frugal. And if you have that skill to create that UGC that's going to get it, get the people in, you're golden. Don't even worry about it.
Totally. 100%. Are also, we only have coming from the brand side, because obviously we have a marketing budget and a creative production budget. We only have a limited budget every year. And so you just want to be strategic with how you're spending that money. So when it comes to hiring UGC creators, we want to make sure that we're enhancing our chances of a return on investment when it comes to the ad spend that will eventually be poured into those UGC concepts. So definitely working with direct response driven, converting UGC creators is what I'm always looking for, which is exactly why I'm in the works of emailing you, Denise, right now, as far as getting UGC for my company that I work.
Great. Awesome. Thank you. I'm looking forward to that. Well, that's definitely why I wanted to have you on here too. I think a lot of creators, we don't know what goes on behind. Well, I mean, I have a little bit of idea because I used to work as a brand strategist and I used to help brands, create their whole persona and all that kind of stuff. So I know a little bit about what goes behind creating, for them and being in touch with their audience and all that kind of stuff. But I think a lot of creators don't get to see behind the veil sometimes. And it's nice to hear, what would set apart, just a regular UGC video versus an awesome UGC video. What in your experience have you seen is the difference? What's the clincher?
Absolutely. So whether we're hiring a UGC creator to post on, say, our personal TikTok or our Instagram from an organic social standpoint, or hiring a UGC creator to create concepts that are going to be launched as paid media ads, we are looking for specifically creators that leverage direct response best practices. So when I think of that, I'm looking for a video, whether it's being posted organically or going to be used as an ad. Does it have a hook? Does it hook the audience in the first 2 to 3 seconds? Because whether it's a TikTok post or ad, you still have the goal of connecting with a potential customer, whether that's an organic sale or a paid media sale. So you want to be able to have their attention grabbed within 2 to 3 seconds. Organic is a little bit different in the approach when it comes to the body of the video, but regardless, you want to always communicate when you're talking about the product, either how easy it is to use and incorporate into your life. What are the value props, the unique selling points that set your product apart or this potential client's product apart from its competitors? And so with a very easily balanced mix of value props, ease of use, social proof, different things that basically give this potential customer another reason why they should purchase this product. And so, again, whether it's a purchase or as easy as selling them on following the account, there's always a call to action.
Yes.
So when it comes to the direct response driven advertisement that you're creating as a UGC concept, you want to have a call to action, whether it's get yours today, shop now. There's obviously many different ways you can rephrase it, but essentially you want to remind the viewer that, okay, you watched the video all the way through, which is great, but like now let's actually get you started and buy the product. And then same with an organic social post. It could be as easy as be sure to follow this account, or, you know, like click the, well, not on TikTok, but click the link in our bio.
Yeah, don't. Don't click the link in bio. Link in Lio.
Yes, exactly. That's become new terminology for me. It's funny. It happened the other day. I'm totally shadow banned right now. And I posted link in bio, and it was funny because I posted on my story. I was like, I never said I was a social media manager. That's for sure. I'm definitely learning when it comes to organic social.
Yeah, I know. I remember I do follow some social media managers, and I'm always like, you can't say this. And some people have even tested, like, you can't put it in the comments, like, or anything. Like, you just can't put it anywhere. Don't say it. I'm like, okay, so can I like point to it and be like, go there or something? I don't know.
Exactly.
So I hear you. I feel you. That I know it's interesting that because that's not a thing on Instagram really. I mean, you're allowed to direct people to your profile. I mean, that makes sense. But especially, and it feels funny that TikTok is doing that, especially since they're moving towards being more like ad, I don't know, ad revenue kind of stuff, and they don't want you to do that. But anyway, yeah. So I did catch your live also the other day that you were talking with Abigail, I think UGC Abigail, about like the structure of doing the UGCs and all that with the hook and the story and the solution and the call to action, and that was like on, I was like, oh, put this on point. I think I made a tweet about it because it was so good. I'm like, that's exactly it. And that's kind of, you know, the difference between, you know, your organic TikTok, what a lot of UGC creators come on and be like, I can do UGC, you know, UGC. Yes, you can, but learn the format kind of thing. Like a lot of, yeah.
Well, so I made this account too, and I've posted about this. Like, I want to help reset expectations. And I know sometimes my delivery can be a little rough. I mean, I've definitely coined myself as the stick versus the carrot when it comes to, you know, you want to get the horse to listen to you. Some people are the carrot, some people are a stick. By nature, kind of like a rough delivery type of person, but it really comes from a tough love standpoint where it's like, look, I made this account to help reset expectations as someone who does UGC part-time, has over the past few years built their business to now 6 figures in income part-time, but also as someone who's coming from the brand side. I mean, truthfully,
right.
It really took me seeing UGC blowing up on TikTok's For You pages for me to get to the point on my personal TikTok that I have that I was like, God damn, am I really going to have to make a UGC TikTok? Because at the time, I didn't even know that there were experienced creators on TikTok. But something that I've kind of found is like outside of networking with incredibly talented creators like yourself, I noticed that we all bring things to the table. And so, again, being able to share perspective, I think, is an added value to people who are just now hearing about UGC. I'm not here to gauge. I just want to reaffirm that UGC is not easy. It's just accessible. There's an incredibly low barrier to entry into the space. However, when it comes to being hired as a UGC creator and also creating a competitive income through it, requires understanding best practices in marketing.
Absolutely. And that's what I found a lot too with, you know, communicating with other creators and all that. A lot of creators that are having success have had a past, you know, working in digital marketing, working on online businesses. It's just something that you're going to have to learn any way you put it. Anytime, any job that you want to do online, especially as yourself as a freelancer, there's going to be a huge learning curve because you're wearing all the hats, like, and it's crazy. And I'm definitely more of the encouraging type. But, and when I saw your account, I'm not even gonna lie, I was like, oh, she's talking about me. She's talking about me.
Oh my gosh, no. Oh my
God. That's a me thing. I know. That's a me thing. I was like, oh my God, she's calling me out. Oh my God, she thinks I'm horrible. That was me. But I, you know, watching, when I went to, I was like, I need to see what she's saying. So I went and I binged. I was like, oh no, she's not talking about me. Yeah. But she has a good point. And I completely agree with it all also. And that's what, that whenever I do talk with creators, because I do have like one-on-ones with creators, I'm like, what's your background? What do you know about it? Because then it's like, from there, we're going to go on what you need to know, on what you can do. Some people are further ahead and some people have a lot to learn. And that's totally okay. As long as you commit to it and don't expect to like make $10,000 like, next week. Like,
I mean, it comes down to that statement that you just said is I've been called quite a few times a gatekeeper. And I'm like, I'm not being a gatekeeper. I'm just saying don't reach out to brands. You don't even understand what user generated content actually is, or, the strategies behind it. Because that's actually, if someone just hears about UGC and they start reaching out to brands with the really poor advice of even people who come from marketing that are trying to grow their accounts for clout, people who are making it sound way easier than it actually is, they're setting those people
yeah,
up for complete failure. Because the amount of pitch emails I get a week as a creative director, like, I mean, it's growing, especially now with UGC becoming like more popular mainstream.
right.
I mean, I get anywhere from 50 to 75 email pitches a week. And first of all, I don't have time to read 75 emails. So I go through it very quickly. I'm so slow to respond to emails because I have ever growing list of emails. It's just like this uphill battle. And then on top of that, I'm reading creative strategy. I'm working with my video editors, my designers, my organic social team. I just did a rebranding pitch this morning for an hour and a half. I mean, I'm saying this to be able to give the perspective of, if you're new to UGC and you're like, oh my God, I reached out to 40 brands today and I didn't get a response. Well, it's because we don't have time to
Right.
spend replying to people who we can clearly tell don't have experience in UGC. And so, again, I made this account and I know other creators as well who are successful in the space are sharing their knowledge to set these people up for success. Because at the end of the day, I'm not a gatekeeper. Also, hi UGC by Ab. And also, hi, Angela. I love your comments. I responded to one of your comments today talking about how you worked at YouTube in 2013 and how UGC was a term that you guys were using even back then, which I love because UGC is a term that's been used in the industry for essentially as marketing has been a thing. And even before that, it was, under a different term or whatever it might be, still the same delivery.
It's essentially word of mouth. Like, that's essentially what it is. It's as old as time. So as old as marketing, rather. That's exactly what it is. It's word of mouth. You're presenting the product. It's like if you're talking to somebody and just like, hey, I love this thing. It's super awesome. Go check it out, kind of thing. So it's word of mouth. Yes. I've been doing it too since I've been online, and I didn't even realize it was a term for it. I was just calling it like testimonials or like
That's
that kind of
awesome.
stuff. So yeah, exactly. Yes, UGC is not new. It's new now, I guess, in the sense the way that it's being picked up by brands are starting to understand that we need it, and we need good UGC, not just like something by an actual customer that was like filmed in their car like at night. So, yeah, and I love that you say that about gosh, what was it? Okay, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Oh, you're totally good. But yeah, I mean, that all goes to say is that, I mean, again, just I'm here to really set people up for success. I didn't go to college for marketing. I'm a college dropout. And so knowing that I didn't have the means to go to college, my mom's a single mother. We came from a low income family. We were the free lunch kids. And so knowing that I didn't have the opportunity to go to college, yet I was able to find this back door into marketing by understanding the best practices and organic social nuances and how to create converting UGC concepts. I want to give back. Like, it's an accessible industry. And if this can change someone's life, like it's changed mine doing it part-time, like I want to do that. But I also want to be realistic and also
Exactly.
people that we're professionals here. And I know some of my posts have gone not like necessarily viral, but it's gained a lot of traction where I say, unpopular opinion, like this is like a serious industry in space. It is. And the only that and offended are people who just heard about UGC and again were set up for failure because they were overpromised and underdelivered. They were told that UGC is easy. All you have to do is pick up your phone and record something.
Exactly. And it's just interesting that those kind of videos, and I do it too, videos where you post like, oh, I made X amount this month. Those videos are going to blow up. They go viral. Everybody's like, oh my God, congratulations for you. And then the next video is like, okay, I made that much, but here's what it took. Like, it took a lot of work. Like, I didn't hang out with my kids. Like, it's been grinding. So I took it slow this month. And guess what? This month has been dead because I haven't worked at it, And and I feel like it's kind of like any online industry. People want to see the success. People are happy to see the success and excited about it. So if this is, that's why I always preface it with like, if content creation is something that you love and you're going to enjoy doing it regardless, whether you're paid for it or not, because a lot of the time you're not going to be paid for it, like, go for it and let's go. And there's so many resources to help. I'll help, you'll help, everybody's gonna, there's so many resources, but it's not something to come in lightly and think, hey, I'm gonna do this. And you know what, some people may just be looking for a few extra $100 a month. If that's the case, fantastic, you're gonna get it here. But if you're looking to make a living off of this, exactly, it's not just hey, I got a couple creators, let me show you how to do it. I mean, a couple of gigs, now I can show you how to do it. And it's
so you raised a good point, because you were talking about how, like, obviously the videos where we share how money we made get really good engagement. I mean, I've even had to kind of lean into that because no one gives a damn about the fact that, hey, I'm a UGC creator and I'm also a creative director. I come from both sides. Listen to me, because I have a wealth of knowledge to share with you. They want to hear about how I made $400 for B-roll for one of my clients that I got paid and did in 15 minutes, which is like fine, but it's just like, it's frustrating that obviously there's a level of hype that needs to be tapped into, even for resources like us, in order to even gain traction. I mean, it's pretty unfortunate, but I think the biggest issue lies is when someone is truly just leaning into hype and spreading misinformation versus, like, it's cool to talk about the pros, but like, let's also talk about what goes into making that kind of money. Absolutely. And also reestablish expectations here, because I didn't just hear about UGC. I've been really cultivating these 3 long-term relationships with these clients in summer 2020. Yeah. And before that, I was still doing a ton of work in order to build up this kind of relationship that I now have. There's a lot of time and energy that goes into being successful in this space that some people don't necessarily share, which is why, again, it's really easy to grow following on TikTok if you're just leading with hype.
Oh yeah. I know. And I've been kind of like, so my TikTok transitioned from random web design, which is what I was doing prior to this. And I just finished my last web design client and I was like, okay, we're done with that. But it transitioned from that to UGC now kind of naturally, just because it's all in the whole marketing area.
Totally.
And I've been thinking, I'm like, I kind of want to start a new UGC TikTok, because those seem to be blowing up like without any effort. Like,
yes. I had tweeted, I said something along the lines of a post from an experienced UGC creator who makes 6 figures part-time and a creative director who leads paid media strategy for a top 1% Shopify brand, 3 likes. And then the next new creator to the space who says that they're new, 1 million likes. I'm just like, what is going on here?
I know. We gotta go be newbie creators. Go be newbie creators. That's what I'm gonna do. I feel like I'm just gonna start a new TikTok. I'm really attached to my account though, so I may not. But I was considering it because, like, shoot. And I know numbers don't matter. Okay, numbers don't matter, but sometimes they can help up it a little bit. They can help up your chances just a little bit. So yes, the numbers don't matter in UGC, and you can work with brands, no problem. But absolutely, I have had one brand actually tell me that because I did have followers, they're like, well, it shows that you know how to grow an audience. I'm like, well, yes, but like, what if I didn't have that? What if I didn't want it? So it's just, hold on a second. What? Yeah, hi. Mommy. This is part of my life. This is my life. My daily life too. What is it? Mom, that's Kelly. Say hi. Hi, Kelly. No, what that's Kelly. Cool. No. G, can you get them strawberries, please? Go get strawberries. Go. Okay, yeah. So, yeah. Apart from being, having to do all that kind of, you have to be disciplined as well, like I find. I mean, this is your job. If you're going to do this as your job, you have to treat it like your job. I do, about 6 hours a day. Granted, it's not all at once and it's not all sitting at my desk, but like, 2 hours here, an hour over there, 3 hours at night when the kids are asleep, and you get it done. And it's not as glamorous as it looks, or as we make it seem, because I do it too sometimes. And it's just, it's just crazy to me. I agree. Every time I see your videos, I'm like, say it louder.
Like, when I first when I first started posting like content that was like, I don't know, I was a little concerned about the delivery. Every single time, it was the people who found success and were professional UGC creators that were saying, say it louder. And then the only people that ever did have a complaint were people who just heard about UGC from their TikTok For You page and were told that it was easy. And all you have to do is just film B-roll shots that look pretty.
Yeah, and it's like that again everywhere. I did affiliate marketing. I tried to do affiliate marketing for a second because I saw that there was a minute that affiliate marketing was like super hot, and I was like, that looks super easy. I can do that. It's not. It is not super easy. So yeah, so it's like with anything, just like these, the KDP journals on Amazon Publishing, when they're like, oh, just publish these blank journals. It is not that simple. Etsy shops are not that simple. Print on demand is not that simple. None of it is simple. Yes, it's a way to do something that you love, monetize it if you'd like, but it's not simple. And I can't with that. Okay, so going with some of your background, I did have a couple of questions for you. Absolutely. What is your biggest turnoff when you're actually like working with creators? Like when you hire someone and they're starting to do stuff with, the brand. What's something that's you're like, oh my God, we're not hiring this person again?
So this actually happened to me. I'm not going to say the name, but I hired someone who really branded themselves as someone who knows what they're doing. It's not someone who follows me in this community.
Okay.
It was back in like April or May. I had looked up UGC on LinkedIn. I came across their account and then went to their website and I was like, oh, wow, this is like branded really well. And I was like looking at their concepts and I was like, these look great. Like, I definitely want to hire this person. And so funny enough, this person has actually branded themselves on TikTok as a coach.
Okay.
And I was completely disappointed in the concepts they had. They were not direct response driven. The quality was not there. It felt like I was not like a priority client, even though I paid their rate. And like, I don't say this to like put pressure on other creators that I'm hiring for the company I work at, because like, truthfully, like just as long as like you put in your effort that you reflect in your portfolio, that's all that matters. And so I was definitely just like really shocked and disappointed by the quality of their work. It's honestly, it's pretty wild because this person's like pretty well known in the space. And so I was very disappointed by the quality I was receiving. And then funny enough, I actually had the same issue happen again with someone who's even way more popularly known that has really built their like considered agency into a business. And for the amount of deliverables I was getting, we did not see a return on investment. So I had to discontinue that relationship. Whoop.
Oh, that's your baby. And yeah, so definitely I see that. I can see that you're doing a good job on your portfolio because it's something that you love, you're doing products that you love and that kind of stuff. And then I think that's that whole thing about over delivering when you come with brands. Like my huge thing, like if a brand doesn't like what I send them, it's not going to be one of those like, oh, well, that's what you paid for. Bye now. Like that's your work. Like you should take that personal and be like, okay, well, how can we make this better? How can this be a success for you?
I'm also not like a picky person by any means too. Like I want to make sure that that's not misunderstood. Like truthfully, I honestly feel like it was really just them branding themselves sounding like they know more than they actually do, which I feel like now after working with this specific person and having come across their TikToks on my For You page, I'm like, damn, I really fell for her. So
some people are really good at that. And I feel like I'm really terrible at selling myself. So I feel like I could probably get some more jobs. I just suck at it. But that's not the point. So I was gonna say, I keep losing my train of thought. I was gonna say something around that.
No, you're all good. That happens to me too. I'm like,
it's mom brain. I've been feeling like super low energy this week and like just meh. But I forgot what I was gonna say about that. I had another question for you too then. Well, I guess on the flip side of that, like what makes you want to work with creators again?
Totally. So I am a firm believer that the creators I'm hiring, I want them to leverage direct response best practices, but I also want them to make it their own. So I want them to leverage,
thank you.
Simple concepts like, include a hook, what is going to separate our product from our competitor, and of course the CTA. So definitely having them be just like well versed in knowing direct response best practices and having a portfolio that showcases that.
Yeah. I think, you know, to be honest, I was already kind of doing it, but I didn't quite know what exactly direct response was. So I went down a rabbit hole and went going into that. I was like, oh, well, I'm already doing this.
Yeah.
But I feel like there needs to be more, well, it's just an education type thing. I mean, people, UGC is not new, but as a UGC creator, like a person that creates specifically UGC, I feel that's, if it's not new, it's the new trending thing. And there's a
Totally.
lot of,
Fairly nuanced,
right,
especially strain, because like think about it, like if we heard some kind of term like that lawyers use that like everyone in the world is like, oh my god, wait, what, they use this term and it makes so much sense, like, oh my god, like did you hear about this? It's just like it's just new to like more of like a
right,
mainstream audience
right,
versus, and also like fairly nuanced in like conversation and just
right,
yeah, it's like you either know the term or you don't, but it doesn't mean that you weren't already doing those best practices.
right.
Actually, there's a term for it, unconscious competence. So doing something
That's
without knowing that you're following a best practice
right.
or yeah, anything like that. So definitely there are creators out there who have been successful and they were leveraging unconscious competence.
Right. Well, exactly. And then like putting some of that, I mean, it's just important to be putting that out into the community. Like if you're going to be a UGC creator, there's so many resources, like, you know, like we were saying earlier, there's resources, there's ways to learn about how to do it right. So you shouldn't be going in there blind. And it's just interesting when I do see, I'm one of those people that I just want to help everybody. So like, I used to think that was bullshit. Like when people were like, oh, I just want to help everybody. Like, no, I do actually want to help you guys. So like, I that's kind of how I am now. And it's like when I see people posting maybe that they haven't gotten any gigs or anything, and then I'll go in and look at their stuff, I kind of want to be like, can I help you? I totally want to help you. Like, I know you just started and it shows that you just started. Let's get you to a better place. And it's so funny that I do that. My husband is like, you need to, why don't you charge for that? I was like, I don't know. I don't know. So
yeah. Depends on like, because there could come a time where you're like, oh, like I really need to like protect my time. For me, like it came out to that point, like obviously with releasing, I don't even know if I can say it here, but my Bink and my Lio, about like portfolio audits, one-on-one coaching.
I saw that. Yeah.
And like again, like I still post on this UGC social TikTok account, and I'm sharing accessible, free industry knowledge. So I completely get what you mean. It's like you just want to help, and like essentially that is why I made this account. When I first made this account 2 months ago, I swear to God, never once in my mind did I think, oh, I'm also going to set up an option for like portfolio audits or one-on-one coaching. I just like truly just wanted to reset expectations because it was just driving me crazy, especially as like someone from the brand side where I'm like, oh my God, thinking of like everyone on the brand side who's about to get like blown up in their inbox with people who don't even know that UGC is an acronym. I want to prevent that from happening.
Right. And like, so I just remembered now a thought when you said that. The fact that there are, you know, creators or rather brands that are working with UGC creators for the first time, it's important for them to be able to set like a good expectation. Like I cannot recall how many times as a web designer, people were like, oh, I hired a web designer and they made this mess for me and I have to redesign it. And I'm like, oh, it just kind of puts a bad taste for the industry in general. If you're not going to be professional, if you're not going to be 100% there for, you know, customer service, if you're not going to produce what you're promising, it's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth, and they're not going to want to work with another creator. And when another creator does know better or may do a little better job or maybe a better fit for them, it's going to be like pulling teeth to try to get them like, I can do this for you, I promise it's going to be better than last time. And they need it, brands need it, like you're going to need this kind of stuff. So I've actually already had to fight against that with one brand, a smaller brand, that they're like, we already, you know, we worked with a creator. And I was like, oh, okay. I was like, can we do a test run? I'll be willing to do a test run with you because I know this is going to be a better experience, or at least I'm pretty sure this is going to be a better experience. And it did, it worked out fine. And they ended up getting the videos that they wanted. But you see, I already see it happening and I'm like, ooh, this is not going to be fun.
And I happen also in, you know, other parts of the industry too. I mean, I have a background as a video editor and as a videographer. So when I was working with a client for a one-off project where I was filming videography on my DSLR as well as editing the content professionally, I had tried to upsell them after the first gig, which I offered at a discount, mainly just because my friend was the paid media manager for them. And I just wanted to help her out more than the brand, just because the brand was kind of an asshole. But when it came for the time for me to say, like, well, this is my hourly rate, he was like, oh no, like, we can't do that because someone told us their hourly rate before and they took advantage of it. Same applies. Like, if there is someone unprofessional in any field and a brand gets burnt by them, I mean, of course they're going to have their guard up because they don't want it to happen again.
Yes. Absolutely. And I actually, as far as pricing, I made a tweet the other day that was like, I'm not going to argue my prices with anyone. Like, there's so many of us on the space and there's so many of us working in all different price ranges. If my prices don't fit your budget, there will be somebody who does. And if you do want to work with me, like, let's talk about less deliverables, or let's talk about, let's negotiate, but this is my price. Like, you don't go into Target and be like, can I get this shirt for $5? Like, come on.
Yeah, 100%. And I will say I've definitely experienced this. So I made a Twitter account like back in April or May because this creator who I had first worked with that ended up letting me down just because they kind of branded themselves knowing more than they actually do. She had told me to join Twitter. And so I joined Twitter and was like, oh, well, I have my 3 contracts, but I mean, extra work doesn't hurt. Let me see if I can, get another client or 2. And the brands that I was generating leads from, tweeting, and then them going to the link in my bio at the time and going to my website, submitting an inquiry, they were rude, they were unprofessional because they were expecting me to create content at the rate that they had hired former creators. And it's just like, you can't have this one size fits all rate because everyone brings something different to the table. And if you have a smaller marketing budget, you can't be offended by a creator who has case studies proven time and time again that they offer a return on investment. I literally just did the math for my longest standing client that I've had. Their top 1 and 2 performers, which were mine, that I wrote the scripts for, I came up with the concept, I filmed and edited. I made them $10 million off of 2 videos in $10 million. Like, literally, ad spend was 6.4 times. It was like $3 million in ad spend for the first one, and then the other one was like 2 million something, and then you times by the ROAS, and I'm like, I made them literally $10 million.
Yeah. Exactly. It's absolutely going to be worth it. But, and it's not, okay, so that's another thing too. Like, brands think that UGC is going to be like the fix it all kind of thing. And good UGC is great and it's going to be wonderful for you, but that's not going to cover it all. If you don't have like a good funnel, if you don't have a good, landing page, you don't have a good ad manager, like, you're not going to get all of that. So I actually did turn down a brand that, I asked, because I like to ask all these things beforehand to just kind of know where the UGC is going to be used, what it's going to be used for, and all that kind of stuff. No, here, take this. So, I was like, you're not, this is not going to perform well. I mean, I'll do it for you if you want to still, but I would recommend, especially having the background in, web design and all that kind of stuff. I know that you need to have a good landing page. You need to have good funnels and good copywriting and all that kind of stuff to actually get your conversions.
Exactly.
So I mean, I like to ask all these questions beforehand, and it makes you look more professional too, because that, like, someone be like, oh, hey, she knows what she's talking about. Even though I mean, not exactly know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I don't know where I was going. I don't know why I started talking about that, but
that I love that you had the background in designing with web design and landing pages, because like, I swear the people who have like been able to evolve when it comes to like maybe starting in a certain niche of marketing or organic social, like, and then be able to tap into those expertise and former knowledge that you've learned along the way, it helps add value.
Yes.
It helps you. And it's so cool that, like you said, the knowledge of landing pages. I mean, I have this I have in the past have had an uphill battle with certain clients or brands I've worked for full time where they're like, oh yeah, well, like this concept didn't work. And I'm like, yeah, did you see your landing page?
Right.
Did you see how
Nobody's
many
gonna buy from that. Right.
like did you see that it wasn't, you know, the audience that you were testing, they're not in line with the design of the landing page?
Yeah. Oh no, it takes a lot for everything to work out right. UGC is not going to fix it all, but UGC is a part of it, and you need to have good UGC to get there. Let's see. I wanted to go until 4, so we got about 8 minutes. Let me see if there are any questions on here that we can answer. Thanks so much for popping on and chatting with me. I'm so excited that I got to talk to you.
Of course, absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I'm just going to respond to my boyfriend really quickly because he's asking a question. So just give me 1 second.
Okay, yeah. Go for it. All right, let's see. I don't know, Yvette, if you're still here, she says, hi, should we wait for a brand to email us if they come across our TikTok organically? So I've had a chance, like when brands have like followed me, I'll check whoever follows me. And if a brand has followed me, I will follow them back. And you can usually go in and check either their Instagram, or you can DM them. If they're following you and you're following them, you can DM them on TikTok. So yep. I've asked them, I'm like, hey, thanks for the follow. What made you want to follow me, kind of thing. And it opens up the dialogue. And even if they don't want UGC right away, you never know, they may want it in the future. So that's definitely how I make the connections on Instagram, on TikTok. Do you want to add anything to that?
Honestly, I'm so new to TikTok from like an organic social perspective. I really haven't even had an experience yet where I'd even met with a brand on here. I feel like I've been so heavy into just like responding to anyone's questions that I really haven't had a chance to, I mean, because also, I mean, I'm not necessarily looking for new clients. So I'd say what you said is more than like if you connect with a brand on TikTok and they follow you back, by all means, plant that, because whether they need it now or later, they're going to need UGC one way or another. And then I guess the only other note is just when you're talking to a social media manager, they might not know what UGC is. I say this because if you write to, and I've seen people post about this where they'll say, oh, well, like, you know, I sent my UGC portfolio and they sent me an affiliate link. So if they send an affiliate link, just make sure to communicate saying, oh, actually, like I'm looking for the marketing point of contact that I can talk to, creative paid media strategy. And then they should be able to intro you to that person.
Yeah, that's a great point. You should always ask for, because at the very beginning, I wasn't quite sure what to do. So I would be filling those out. And I'm like, this isn't going to get me anywhere because it's asking for like your TikTok followers and it's asking for like your Instagram followers. I'm like, no, that's not what we're looking for.
It's going to go to instead of their marketing department, it's going to go to the influencer marketing department. Two very different use cases because we need influencer marketing just as much as we need UGC content. Much as we need high definition campaigns for marketing.
Right. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. UGC is just a piece of of everything that brands use, and it's funny. You don't want to get lumped in with influencers because it's a completely different marketing way. Totally. We got another question here. Do you do anything on Upwork? Or I guess you don't need to, but she says, I've been putting in 4 to 5 submissions on Upwork and not getting anything. My first gig was actually like official gig, I guess, if you want to put it, was from Upwork. I think I got lucky because they ended up being a long-term client now. Yeah, I got really lucky. But so I guess tips, I'll do a quick tips for Upwork. Normally you would want to Google like TikTok ad creation or video ad creation or content creator, and then just start looking for things that you think you can do. The thing about Upwork is you have like X amount of credits, and if you use them all up, like you're done. So I wouldn't pay for anything either. Just kind of keep going for it. Sometimes they won't respond. Most of the times they won't respond. And just keep submitting. That's the only thing you can really do on that.
Well, and honestly, I haven't had experience doing Upwork or Fiverr, but I mean, there are creators on this platform that have turned their full-time income into things such as Fiverr and Upwork. So it obviously works. And this is also the beauty of this space with the creators is I don't have anything that I can personally add to about Upwork or other third-party platforms, but there are other creators who do. So every single person who is a professional UGC creator brings some unique experience and knowledge to be able to share with their audience, which I love.
Yep, absolutely. I'm actually talking with Fiverr Big Sis. I don't know what her name is.
Oh yes, Arbel.
Yes, I'm talking with her tonight, and that's what she does. She does UGC
Yep.
all on Fiverr. So I'm gonna get some tips from there and help you guys
Totally.
out. If you tune in tonight, that's what we're talking about. Okay, well, I guess let's see. Just wrapping up here. Y'all going live? Yes, tonight I'm going live with at Fiverr Big Sis. That's what her TikTok handle is. If you want to go follow her, and I think it's like at 9 tonight because we got kids and they got to go to sleep before we can get on here. Well, yeah, I don't know, Kelly. Do you have anything else that you wanted to add? I wanted to ask.
I don't know if I have anything else outside of just like, you know, I'm so happy that I got connected with you. I'm so glad that you invited me on this live. And I feel like it's creators like yourself that are going to help add value to bettering the new creators who are entering the space. Because we're not here to gatekeep. However, we want to make sure that we are resetting expectations and reminding people that it's not easy. It's just that it's super accessible. There's very low barrier to entry. And, you know, following different creators' accounts like myself and also Sunny D is going to help better your career as a UGC creator. Along with Arbella is awesome if you want to figure out or learn more about how to do Fiverr full time. I mean, she adds a wealth of knowledge, and I know there's a few others who also are on Fiverr as well full time. So just you know, be treat it like a professional career, because that's what it is at the end of the day, and continue to build your foundation of knowledge when understanding the space. And if you guys ever have any questions, I'm here to help.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We're approachable. Like you can totally DM us on Instagram or rather TikTok. I'm Twitter. I'm always on Twitter, so you can totally reach out. I will answer questions, no problem. And I know I was gonna say Marielle. There she is. She's on full time on Upwork. So we have the two different platforms that are huge, Fiverr and Upwork. And I know Freelancer is one too. So if you ever wanted to try, starting out, it's easier. I feel like it may be easier to land a gig on there because brands are already looking and you know that they're looking and they have the job posting right there. So yeah, just pitch. I mean, what have you got to lose? Just a few minutes of your time to send out a pitch, which is what you're going to do with emails anyway. So you might as well. But anyway, okay. So thank you so much again. I'm going to download this and I'm going to put it on my YouTube. So go check it out. And if you guys wanted to sign up, I have a newsletter that goes out every week with updates on the YouTube and all that kind of stuff. And Kelly, what have you got? Go ahead.
Oh no. Oh, we lost her, but I think I can still plug myself. Check out the link in my bio.
I'm back. Sorry.
And I'm like, oh damn, where'd she go? So guys, check out the link in my bio. I'm not sure if I can or can't say it on here, so I'm just going to be extra careful because your girl is shadow banned. I'm offering one-on-one coaching for UGC, direct response marketing, and I'm also offering portfolio audits. I audit work every single day for a living to help make content more direct response driven. So those are things that I'm offering, obviously for a fee, but it's considered a business expense. So talk with a tax professional. Outside of that, be sure to follow my account because I also offer a wealth of industry knowledge for free.
Yes. Thank you again so much for coming on. And I'm sure we're going to be in contact and probably I'm going to want to do another one of these, like more official with a bunch of other questions that I have for you. So I'll let you know when we're going to set that one up.
Thank you so much for having me. And again, I'm so sorry for being late. I totally messed up. So thank you. I appreciate you. You're awesome. And yeah.
All right. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us. And we'll be back next week. I think next week is in the evening. So I'll let you guys know what the time is for UGCT. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.